Greetings everyone. I'm at the park and I can't see my lens. I can't see the camera because it's really dark. But hopefully you can see me, and if you can't, at least you can hear me. I've got to share this story with you, and maybe later on I might go live and then you can perhaps point me to some things that are not as obvious. But what I want to say, I want to preface this, that as a black woman, I couldn't love myself, or maybe I can love myself more, but I love myself a lot. And I love my people, I love the people in my community. You know, it goes without saying. I also want to preface this by saying that I know that there are professional black people who conduct themselves in such a manner that you are bound to respect them. Okay? So what I'm about to say must not reflect on all black people, but in general, when we meet a lot of black people, even if they're few and far between, those who are unprofessional, it makes the rest of us look very, very bad. Now, I had an experience, and I'm going to speak in detail. I'm going to give specific examples today in this video, so you understand my position and where I'm coming from. I just got home from concluding a business with a black woman. Now, I didn't need to be in any business with this woman in the first place because I was already dealing with two other people, two different persons from different communities. But I passed, on my way home, I saw this person's marker, her advertising her services. And although I started conducting business with these other individuals, I wanted to see what she had to offer and, truthfully speaking, support her if I could. I was very specific to say, really, I wish I had met you first, but let me see what you have to offer. And when I first spoke to her, she was very beautiful. The thing she said was exactly what I wanted to hear about, oh, we need to build together. Other folks are building their empire. We help them to build theirs and we're not supporting each other. Of course, you know, that goes up my alley. So I said, okay, let me see what you're offering. And I need time to see, give me a quote. Let me see what, you know, present your business to me and give me a few days. I'm waiting to hear from some other folks, but I also wanted to consider her, even though she was the last in line. Again, I'm saying I no longer do business with people based on skin color or based on, you know, gender or religious, you know, identification. I don't do that anymore. And this is one of the examples that has finally put the seal in that agreement for me. So I gave her some very pertinent information that you should not be giving to any random person, because if you do, these individuals, if they're scammers, can use that information against you. Not necessarily against you, but they can use that to benefit themselves and you fall in trouble. You know, there are people stealing other person's identity. The stuff that I gave her were very critical, but I sort of trusted her because she seemed to be aligned with a credible organization. But when I would text her to ask her any questions, she never answered my text. And a few times in between, she might call and she would seem like the same person that I could trust. She seemed genuine, but I was getting that sixth sense. Listen to your guts, people. I keep saying that, listen to your guts. Something about this female was not adding up. And so long and short of the story is I said, you know what, I'm going to collect those paperwork and I'm going to need some time to rethink things, and I will get in touch with you. Well, I started to see a little bit of I saw some fangs when I suggested that I was going to pick up the paperwork. And so she agreed that we'd pick them up yesterday. And then she called and said she couldn't make it. It was impossible for her to make it yesterday, and it had to be today at a particular time. But the time she was offering was not good for me because my husband would not be able to meet with her as well. And when we do things, we do so as a team. We don't do anything without each other. You know, word for the wise, united we stand. And so we went united. And so when we were concluding the business, it has to be a united front. She was going around, beating around the bush until finally I locked her down to 10 o'clock this morning. She gave us a location, a public location. And when we got there, almost there, she texted to say she couldn't meet us there anymore and that we had to go the complete opposite direction, which would have taken another 45 minutes or so. But this is the thing, she didn't give us any address. She gave us an intersection to meet her. So I said to her, I texted her back, because she sent it to me in a text. I texted her back and I said, well, that's an intersection. Can you give us an address or give us a location at that, give us, are we meeting in this restaurant? Are we going to meet in this coffee shop? What? We can't meet in the intersection. So she wasn't answering my text, and I called her back. She wasn't answering. But when she finally answered, she just went off. She was very angry, belligerent, very disrespectful. And I said to her, back up a minute. Where is this other person that I met? Because you have taken a 0 to 100 here. You're like a different person. I'm just trying to get my information back from you. There's no need for hostility. I just want to conclude this business with you. And she was going off. She wasn't listening to me. So my husband said to ask her, give us the address. I said, I'm asking her, and she's just going off. Let me tell you, go off. So I gave him the phone, and he had to yell at her for her to stop yelling and screaming and say, all we need is our information. That's all. And then she doesn't realize that I'm still there or beside him. I don't know what she's thinking. She says to him, I don't want your wife to come. I just want you to come. Just come by yourself. Don't bring her. And, he hung up the phone. I guess she feels that he's going to do what she says. So, of course, we go to the location, and my gut says to me, turn your camera on. And I turn on the camera even before she turned up, which is so strange. I turn on the camera, and shortly thereafter she turned up. And, of course, he comes out from his end of the vehicle, and I came out from the driver's passenger side, and we meet in the front. And so I go to her with my camera on, and she starts saying, why are you videotaping me? But that's not even here or there. The thing is, the female turned up in her panty and her bra, pretty much. It was a negligee. She turned up in negligee, underwear, and top. Now, of course, she's shocked to see me, because I guess she thought that this is why women get used, eh? This is why some women get used and dash away, because there are women who know that you're a skank, and they will agree with their husband or their boyfriend to do it. But I would not defile my marriage by allowing my husband to do something like that. But the truth of the matter is, whatever her intention was, it was impure. It's almost funny right now, and I almost feel sorry for this female right now. But it's not what she attempted to do, because who knows? Maybe she's trying to set the man up. I don't know. Or maybe she's trying to, whatever it is she's trying to do, it's of no concern to me, except to say, this is why we cannot build together. Because when we're trying to throw business each other's way and trying to deal with each other like human beings, individuals are so disgusting, so sick, so unprofessional that they would pull a stunt like that. The lady turned up in panty, and she's coming at least 45 minutes from where she lives. What if your car breaks down? What your intention to be so wicked is so strong and so deep that you would actually jeopardize your own, I don't know, your dignity. I'm going to go live. I'm still protecting her face. I don't know why I'm even doing that, because those people should be thrown out there. The woman turns up in panty and bra, broad daylight. By the time we get together, perhaps it's about 11 or so. This is why there are some of us here who, even though we want to build with our own community, when we see these things, it's so disgusting that it turns you off. What was her purpose? Why would she do that? Let's just say she's not trying to come on to my husband, because, telling him don't bring me and that he should come alone. But the unprofessionalism, the level of unprofessionalism of this female, it blows my mind. And then she texts me and she says, oh, I'm going to go to the police, and I'm going to tell him that you took my video of me without permission. And I'm thinking, you have my documents. These are stuff that you could go out there, and we could find ourselves in a lot of trouble with this pertinent information that we gave you, hoping to conduct business with you. We don't really know you. And obviously, the type of person that you are, you're very low character and low morals. So obviously, and the things she was saying and how she was behaving on the phone, made me want to protect myself and my husband, because we don't want to go to her with a camera off and she says we said things or did things that we didn't do. So I had to protect myself, and I'm glad I did. People, be careful. Men, be very careful, men. The climate that we live in now, you know, sometimes men do bad things, but sometimes I feel empathy for men, because it's a crazy world out here, and you could find yourself in a lot of trouble by some females who are of low moral repute. I'll leave it at that. Stay blessed, everyone.